么树？
欢迎收看英文。
什么树？
干嘛经理？
那就是看你的头发，就让我想到今天要讲什么。
对啦，今天要讲什么？
川普2.0。
川普2.0，川普又回来了。
That's right, and he has a lot to do. Oh my goodness, it's like a restaurant menu， 满满的，全部都是放很多东西。
对。他不只是做很多事情，而且是超快速的做。他1月20就职典礼晚上当天晚上就直播签了一大堆的行政命令。
Yes, I think it's probably because he almost died before becoming president. So now that he's president, he's like, okay, now it's time to get some
把握
stuff
时间
done.
当天晚上马上开始。
That's right.
OK， 他有那么多的行政命令，其实也引发了很多的讨论，还有大家这点我有点不太舒服，或者有点期待，到底有哪些事情有一些争议？其中最被多人讨论的就是今天要谈的主题。
That's right. Now, there were a lot of things that Trump talked about doing while he was on his campaign. We are all used to politicians saying, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But he actually became president and actually started doing all of those things. 我们有一点不习惯那个有一点像美国以前就是一直讲要有那个高铁，
对，
然后我们刚刚有做，
刚刚好一做
right? Exactly.
慢慢来。
This is how long things can take,
没错
right? When it comes to the federal government and the state governments. But Trump is like, he's like on the 高铁
OK，
like not even in it, like riding on it, 像骑马一样，对，这样子。
狂奔的川普2.0。
President Donald Trump signed an executive order on January 20, 2025, limiting birthright citizenship. The order aims to deny U.S. citizenship at birth to children born on American soil if neither parent is a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident.
其实，在多年以前的新闻甚至我自己都有朋友做了这件事，就是他就是穿着比较宽松的衣服，然后肚子里面其实装了一个宝宝，然后他就若无其事的到美国说：“哦，我是来旅游的。”就刚不小心他肚子痛，然后就生了一个孩子，然后这孩子就变成美国人了。
And I guess this interesting life hack has become kind of a business, actually.
Yeah.
I just found this out recently, actually, that 有些那个旅行社 like the tour, the
Agency
travel agencies
对
will help you if you are an expecting mother to arrange a trip to the U.S. around the time that you want to deliver your child. They will teach you what to tell the people at customs, because you can't get to customs and they say, oh, what's your reason for travel? And you say, well, I'm trying to hack my way into American citizenship. And they'll say, get back on the plane, get out of here. It's not going to work.
Okay.
So they'll teach you what to say. They will arrange for a hospital in the area where you arrive, right? So then you can get there and have your baby safely, and then pay them a bunch of money for helping you give birth to an American citizen.
那真正我们要来讨论这一个议题之前，我们也是要来认识一下到底什么是美国出生公民权，认识一下这个背景，然后我们再继续聊下去。
In the United States, birthright citizenship is protected under the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which states all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. This means that almost anyone born on U.S. soil is automatically a U.S. citizen, even if their parents are non-citizens or undocumented immigrants.
那这个原则通常就是属地主义，有这个属地主义的国家，其实有加拿大、墨西哥、阿根廷、巴西，还有一些特定的范围。比如说台湾其实有一点点属地主义，对。
说真的吗？
就是如果你的生父生母真的不知道是哪一个国籍的人，然后你在台湾在中华民国出生的话，你是有中华民国国籍。
This is one of the complicated issues that Trump is trying to deal with his immigration policies, immigrant policies, is that in the States you have some families where the children are U.S. citizens, but the parents maybe are not. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. Sometimes they're not US citizens, but they're allowed to be there because of special work status or because they were fleeing war in their own home countries. But in other times, it might just be that someone came in illegally, is working illegally, but their children are legal.
对
And that creates a very complicated situation.
对，那在以前就有一个名词形容这种行为，就叫跳机，就是我搭飞机到美国，然后我就想尽办法留下来，那最好留下来就是在那边生个孩子。那我的孩子是美国人，他没有办法自己照顾自己啊，我得照顾他，所以我就留下来照顾这孩子，那就跳机成功。
It's a lot harder for you to get a visa for your spouse. They ask so many questions now because they want to make sure that no one is doing a marriage for citizenship.
对。
It's crazy.
那现在川普其实已经好好的签署了这个行政命令，我们就来认识一下他到底签署这个行政命令所要使用的理由是哪一些。我们来一起读。
Number 1, preventing abuse by illegal immigrants. Trump argued that birthright citizenship allowed illegal immigrants to gain U.S. citizenship by giving birth on U.S. soil, which he viewed as a loophole. This practice, known as birth tourism, encouraged illegal immigration, and Trump sought to prevent it.
这个就是我们刚才已经前面有提到这个生育旅游，它其实也是要稍微先阻止一下这种很奇怪的旅游理由。
对，但是这个字很 good.
Okay.
Good. Loophole. 要学这个字. It's a very useful English phrase, which just means that there's like, 有一条线, there's a line that you're supposed to walk on in order to get something done, but there's like a loophole where you figure out a way to go around the law or around the rules in order to do the thing that you want to do. Just think of it like there's, a line, but then here the line kind of is like whoop, and then you just whoop go through the loophole.
所以这边讲的漏洞到底是什么？就是根据这个美国的法律呢，其实当这个孩子他的身份是合法的嘛，可是他父母不是的时候没有问题，因为当这个孩子长大以后，他就可以帮他的父母合法的申请绿卡，他的父母就有类似公民的权利啦，green card 嘛，对不对？
对 ，green card. I'm not a legal citizen. Green card.
我也可以讲那么白啊，是 green card 不
My
是 queen
children are green card. So getting a green card in the States is very difficult.
对啊，不容易耶。
I've gone through that process, not for myself, but for my loved ones. And again, so many questions, number 1. Number 2, very expensive.
哦，真的啊、
It's not cheap. And number 3, you can't just get it and then have it, right? There are a lot of rules. If you get a green card, they want to make sure that you're getting that card and then you plan on moving to the U.S. and actually staying so that they can keep you in. It's not like the 那个永久居留证,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Where, I mean, with my card here, like as long as I'm in Taiwan for some length of time within 5 years, they're like,
Yeah.
no problem,
对啊
right? But the green card is way more complicated. You have to spend at least 6 months or more in the States and be doing stuff like
对
in order to keep your green card, or else it becomes abandoned and then you have to fill out a separate application and go through another process in order to get it renewed. And of course, I mean, to get the green card, they have to ask you a lot of questions. Who are you? Where are you from? Where's your family? Where have you lived in the last 5 years? In your home country, where do you live now? When I got my 永久居留证, they were like, okay, what's your current address? And I'm like, here it is. And they're like, oh, is this your wife? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all right, cool. I mean,
你这样讲，我们好像
like-
太 easy 哦。
I mean, it wasn't that. I'm not that easy, right? But
Okay.
like when you compare it, though, it's
好啦。
like much more friendly. But it's important to note that having a green card, though, does not make you a citizen. Sort of like my 永久居留证, right?
Okay.
I can't vote with my 永久居留证.
对，不行。
And you can't vote with a green card either. You also can't run for political office. And there are probably other things that are limited to citizens that a green card holder would not be able to do.
那接下来还有什么理由呢？我们来读。
Let's check it out. Number 2, reducing the burden on U.S. resources. Trump emphasized that birthright citizenship allowed illegal immigrants and their children to access U.S. public services, such as healthcare and education. He believed restricting this would reduce pressure on resources and ensure that U.S. citizens had priority access.
他的这个法令的规定其实也不是那么多人适用，其实只有你的父母都是非法的状态底下，这些公民才会取得不了公民权。对，所以其实所谓抢夺这些医疗资源或教育资源的孩子们，其实也没有很多，但是它的确是一个现象。所以把它写在行政命令的时候，感觉比较正当，比较合理。
That's right. Sort of like the fact that I have such good health care here, even though I'm not a citizen. I mean, I thank God for that every day because it's not like 就是不是理所当然的。
对，
Yeah.
没错。好，我们来继续读下一个很争议。我们来看一下下一个理由是什么。
All right, number 3 is upholding the original intent of the 14th Amendment. Trump's administration argued that the 14th Amendment, which grants citizenship to those born in the U.S., was misinterpreted. They contended the amendment was intended to protect the descendants of freed slaves, not all children born in the U.S., especially those with non-citizen parents.
这个其实它的整个故事非常的精彩还有完整，所以我们在后面的篇幅我们再讲得更详细和清楚一点。那这边我们再简单的提到一下，说总之宪法其实是已经有保障过你的这个属地主义，也就是当你落地你应该就有。他现在川普用了一些也不是也用很重的一个字眼在这当中来强调说，虽然你符合这个宪法第14条，但是中间有一些字你没有符合，我就透过这些字把你的这个出生公民权拿掉。
And it's very interesting for them to use this kind of language. It is the story of slavery, like you mentioned, is such a powerful image in the U.S. to everyone's imagination that to sort of call upon that in your explanation, it does something to people's perception of what it is that you're doing, right? And it does make sense that at that time, I'm sure that's what the founding fathers were thinking. But over time, that it's been expanded to include more people, and basically Trump is sort of trying to reverse that back to maybe just the original intention.
对，好，我们就继续来读下一个理由。
All right. Number 4, addressing exploitation of birthright citizenship. Trump noted that some foreign nationals, especially from countries like China, used birthright citizenship to ensure their children could easily access U.S. opportunities. He sought to limit this practice, which he saw as an unfair advantage.
去年其实看 YouTube 很多影片在讲润，那就很多人润到美国以后，就是用孩子的身份，然后想办法把自己留下来。
And it doesn't help that these people are from China, which China and the U.S. have a very complicated relationship. Part of those complications we'll talk about actually in the next point, but it just doesn't really look good. Number 5, enhancing national security. Trump argued that granting citizenship to children of foreign nationals could provide foreign powers a path to influence U.S. politics and society. Limiting birthright citizenship was seen as a way to protect national security.
这点其实我觉得是选的蛮好的，因为不管你身为总统，不管你签什么行政命令，你好像都可以加这一句。
对，
我就是为了保护国家，我就是为了守护我国家的资源、它的资产，所以他这句绝对不会错。
对，
而且实际上也是啊。
Yeah, the problem is that even if you feel like he's manipulating fear tactics in order to get people to feel like this is a good idea to protect them, the fact is that people are exploiting things like this in order to sort of find holes.
对，
That's sort of why I'm only partially kidding when I call it a life hack, because there are ways for you to get opportunities that you would not otherwise have if you have a child who is a U.S. citizen.
没错没错的。
Number 6, prioritizing legal immigration. Trump wanted to prioritize immigrants who entered the U.S. legally and followed the law. restricting birthright citizenship was seen as a way to strengthen legal immigration while reducing illegal immigration. Naturally, as a leader of a country, he's going to want to prioritize having order in his country and having safety for his people. So if you just look at it from that angle, it does make sense for him to try to roll something like this out and do it very quickly.
没错，这个川普总统，我们刚才前面说了，1月20就签了行政命令，结果1月21就有22个州出来反对川普总统的这个行政命令，说：“哎，你这个命令是违宪的哦。”那这个真正违宪的理由是什么？内容又有哪些？我们下一集就要好好的来跟大家介绍宪法第14条修正案。14。
So tune in next time for our next exciting episode to see what kind of chaos erupted during the process of making this decision and dealing with both sides of the issue.
没错没错，其实双方说法我们都应该理解来认识一下哦。以上就是我们今天的英文
什么书？
想要知道宪法第14条修正案，让我们继续下一集看下去。